What are we going to call this? The A-TAC approach?
I believe so.
Sweet. Everyone, welcome to the A-TAC approach. Do I look at the camera? Yeah. Today we have Val Thompson, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good person. I met you back in 2022, right?
I think so.
So
For that class.
yeah, I got out of government contracting back in October 2022, and I think we did it either December or January of 23. And you've been around ever since.
Yeah.
First thing I have to do is say thank you. You've been sending a lot of people to our school to get their PI license. I've met so many people through you, including Daniel. Everyone saw a little bit of Daniel yesterday, but he kind of deleted it because he didn't want to be on air.
Oh, he's so cute. He should be on air.
He is. I got a lot of people saying he was cute, actually.
Yes.
So you're a private investigator?
Yes.
And a process server?
Yes.
What else do you do?
That's it. That's my
That's
life.
it? That's your life. How'd you get into private investigations?
Well, I wanted to be, when I was younger, I wanted to be some kind of a crime scene investigator, maybe like a forensic person.
Yeah.
And I went to a private school, and, I was sheltered, and I got pregnant at a young age, right after I got out of school. And so I had to take care of a baby, which was the best thing ever in the whole world.
Absolutely.
But I didn't have the capacity to go to college and do that and take care of a child. So I just got a job, and then probably 7 years ago, right before the pandemic, I had gotten free from my job. I had money in the bank. I was like, okay, I've got like 6 years before I can retire. What do I do?
Yeah.
What do I want to do with the rest of my life? And so I was like, well, I can't be a policeman or FBI person anymore. So I called around to see about PI and what you had to do it. I didn't have any clue what you even did to do it or what you did when you were a PI. I just thought it was cool.
A lot of people don't have any clue on how to get started.
No. And so I called around, and I found I went to Moore Norman Technical School.
Okay.
And so I went to school. It was like 1 week, 4 classes. I went ahead and got armed because I just thought that'd be better. And so then graduated there, and everybody in the PI class was saying, "Oh, you can't just go into being a PI and like sustain yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to like have another job and then work your way up for when your clientele bills, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, it's not really my plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to just either I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it.
Did they, in your class, did they teach you about actually being a PI, or did they just teach you the legality of it?
No, we just got, you can do this, you can't do that. Just the
That's
rules, and we saw a few films, and not taking away from the teacher at all, because Steve Hutchinson was my teacher. I love him.
I know Steve. He actually worked for A-TAC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, another one.
Yep. Another one.
But, yeah. So, no, they didn't tell you what to do or how to do it or anything, just what you could and couldn't do.
So they didn't go into details that you could do forensic interviewing, you couldn't do, or they didn't tell you that you could be a DUI investigator, a homicide investigator on the private side.
Mm-mm.
That's insane, because there's a lot of work out there for you if you understand that kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay. So once you passed the class and everything, how'd you start your actual PI career?
I started out I did a lot of research because, PIs do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a lot of research about national companies and how to, just apply with them. I think I applied with 5 or 6 national companies. And I started doing workman's comp cases. And
so you were, whenever people filed for workman's comp, you kind of just did surveillance on them to make sure that they're actually damaged the way they say they're damaged. Okay.
Yeah, that's what really national companies do. But that's where I learned a lot about how to be a PI, how to do reports, how to do videos, how to edit videos, how to do all the stuff.
Now, did someone teach you, or you just kind of wing it and then they got a little upset and you had to transition to the way that they do stuff and learn the way that they do it?
Every one of them has a different way that they like to do it.
Yeah.
But VRC that's in Dallas, I worked for them for a long time. and Covett Bridge. They
Okay.
both had very, very good training programs. I think Covett Bridges was like a week,
Okay.
and they taught you how to write reports. They taught you what to look for, how to do videos, the whole thing. It was really, really good. So that was where I got most of my training. Then I think everybody should start out that way.
So you did a lot of surveillance.
Lots.
Do you like surveillance?
I do.
Okay. You're the first PI I know that likes surveillance.
I do like
Whenever
it.
I got into it, the people were like, yeah, we're going to do surveillance over here. I need you to do surveillance over there. And I was like, I'm more of a protection kind of guy. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do surveillance. So I'd always pass it off on someone else. So that's awesome that you enjoy surveillance.
I do.
So you got with those companies and you learned a little bit about report writing and surveillance and everything. And now you own your own company, right?
Two companies.
Two companies.
Yes.
And you have employees underneath you.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you started from having a passion as a kid, not being able to pursue it until you got a little bit older. And once you got a little bit older, you just jumped headfirst into the pool.
Yeah.
And now you own two companies and you're doing pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing very good.
that's awesome. So whenever you first started breaking off from the surveillance and the other companies to do your own stuff, what were you looking more into? Were you doing like homicide, or were you doing surveillance still, or what were you more pursuing at that point?
Well, at the beginning, you can't really turn down work. Like
Exactly.
I didn't think I could ever turn down work. So when I started getting calls, I just kind of transitioned out organically, kind of, because the national companies pay you like $25 an hour,
Yeah.
and that's really it. And so when you go from that to what we make an hour, I had to pick and choose, and I'm always going to choose my
Yep.
company making more money. And so I just kind of transitioned down to that. Now I just work for one national company, and they understand my position. And I forgot the question.
No, you're fine. It's so how'd you transition from working from them to yourself?
Oh, I just so I built my business up. I made a Google page, Yelp page, things like that, and then I just started getting more calls and more calls, and so I slowly started getting away from them and doing my own work.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So you talked about Facebook and marketing and stuff like that.
very important.
How hard was that?
Easy.
Easy?
People just need to do it.
You have to do it, exactly.
I can't tell you how many people I've told what to do, and I'm kind of bossy.
Yeah.
So I tell people what to do. Like, you got to make a Google page, you got to make a Yelp page, you got to do a Facebook page, you got to
Yep.
blah, blah, blah. And all of that's free. There's no way that you need to pay how much ever for Google.
And posting and
Ads.
having a presence on
Yes.
Facebook, it's free also.
Also, yeah.
Yep. You have to do it.
Yeah.
It's very important, especially if you're starting to get more clientele or you want more contracts in order to do PI work or process serving or anything like that. Process serving we'll touch on in a minute, because process serving is fun. You have crazy experiences no matter who you are once you step in the process serving field, because now you're dealing with the public a lot more. And it's an adventure. I enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
but back on that, once you got all the marketing up and everything, how did you go about finding clientele, like getting your name out there? Once you got your name out there, did they come find you, or did you push into like the attorney sector, or did you just have friends that you knew who were like, hey, I got this contract, I can't do it, and pushed it to you? Like, how'd you go about finding it?
I do some kind of subcontract work for other PIs.
Okay.
So I do still do a little bit of that. Mainly it was just coming off of Google.
Yeah.
And you have to do I don't know all this technical stuff. Daniel's probably going to kill me and because I'm not going to say the right words. But, on Google, they send you the words that people are searching.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure those are in your ad or whatever,
Yep,
your
the SEO.
description. SEO, that's
Yep,
the right
SEO.
word. See, I don't know anything. and that's another plus. Like, I don't know anything about that.
Yep.
But I knew enough that I need those words in my description. And so I'm at the top of Google after the ad people,
Yeah.
because I don't ever do ads. But
Yeah, it's kind of pointless to pay for it. And whenever I Google something, if I'm looking for a PI or something like that, and I see sponsored down at the bottom, I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to do the sponsored. I want someone who's real. So I'll go to the first one outside the sponsored. So you would be the first one that pops up.
Yeah, I think I'm in the top 5 for sure.
Absolutely.
And I think every week I just move it around, move
Yeah.
my description around, or add a picture or something, and it keeps it up there. As far as I know, I think that's how it works.
And that's one thing that you need to touch on is consistency, because
Yes.
you're talking about doing it once or twice a week. A lot of people think, once a month is okay. You're not going to get your name out there like that.
And you can totally tell. I can totally tell when I do it, because like it takes a couple days, and then the phone just ringing off the wall.
Yep. That's why I've been trying to show Daniel, because you talk about being bossy and you can tell people how to do it and they just don't do it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I told Daniel a couple times and he was like, yeah, I got it. And it just doesn't happen. And then we got to be like, okay, let's step in and let's start doing stuff. And so what I've learned from the multi-billion-dollar companies and the CEOs that I worked for is whenever they post and they have a social media presence, it's 3 times a day, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then in the between days, they're posting random pictures. Hey, we're having fun doing this, or hey, come check this out. So they have almost a constant presence on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, things like that. And that's really something that you have to do if you own your own company, is to push for that and be very consistent at it.
Yeah, that's kind of the next step too that I'm planning on doing. So
I think that the sky's the limit with you. Like, you already have a passion for it. You waited almost your whole life to get into that passion, and now you're enjoying it. I can see whenever you do PI work, when you do surveillance, everything like that, you can see that you're happy about it, and that's something that you're passionate about. And I always love seeing people doing what they're passionate about, because every day that you wake up, yeah, it's a job, but you're having fun at work.
it doesn't really feel like a job.
Yeah. And if you can get into that mindset, then you're going to do great at whatever you're doing. So we talked a little bit about the success on the PI side. How many times did you fail in order to get as successful as you are?
As a PI?
As a PI. Well, building your company and getting into that field.
I don't really know about failing. That's not like
You probably didn't
one of
see
the
it as
things.
failing.
One of the things that I think about. I think that every time I lose somebody when I'm following them,
Yeah.
that's a fail. And every time I can't find or can't see, or I can't make people do things when I'm watching them.
Yeah.
So I think every time that kind of thing happens, that makes it a fail. Kind of. I don't really call it a fail. It's learning.
Yeah.
You gotta learn. It's your learning steps.
So you're taking it as a learn. That's exactly it. If you fail and you get down about it and you're like, oh, and you beat yourself up, you're never going to get back up on that. But if you take it as, oh, I messed up, that's cool, I need to do this better next time. Got it. And as long as you do better next time, then you're going to continue growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, like what did you do to mess up? What happened that didn't go right?
That's amazing. I think the most I spent with you is maybe 3 days in a row, and I really didn't get to know Val, so I'm really digging in. Like, I want to see, because I see your passion, and passion it drives everything. It takes the image that you have in your brain and brings it into reality. And watching people's passion come into reality and they grow a business and they have fun, it's just something that I enjoy watching. That's what happened with the school. I had a passion with it, and I was like, you know what? I need to start doing this, because if I get away from what I'm doing and do something I'm passionate at, then every day is just I'm gonna wake up and enjoy my life every day. And the more people see that, the more people are drawn to it. And that's the way I am with you. You got this PI agency, and I'm like, okay, well, now I kind of want to see what you guys do, what it's all about.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's really fun meeting people like you.
It's fun meeting people like you.
Yeah, we click pretty well.
Yeah.
Now, on the PI side, I know a lot of people, especially when I go to the Oklahoma Private Investigation Association meetings,
Yes.
The OPIA, I believe.
Yes.
There's not a lot of females there.
Mm-mm.
So what's the hardships of being a female in the PI industry here in Oklahoma? You're like, uh-oh, got put on the stand. That's fine. Have you encountered any hardships of being a female here? Like, anyone be like, oh, well, no, I'd rather have a guy PI or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I've also had the opposite of that. Like, oh, you're a girl, I think you can do it better. Or
Yep.
we just think different.
You do. And in my experience, females make a lot better PIs than guys do.
I was going to say
lot
that. I
better.
didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Nope. Throw it out there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, females make better marksmen than guys do, and I'm a great marksman, But I've had people show up to my range and outshoot me after I teach them how to do it, and they're females. And I'm like, you
What?
guys catch on so well. So a lot of guys will have ego in them. And as they're doing the ego, they're like, oh, I got to get this shot. And if I miss this shot, then they start beating themselves up in their mind. Females are like, oh, this is fun. This is relaxing. And
Watch
they
me do this again.
yeah, like check it out. Oh, I need to focus on my breathing and and they're better at focusing on that stuff. And 100%, I've seen females make better marksmen than men. And actually, I think the sniper with the most confirmed kills in the world was a Russian female.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome. I got goosebumps.
So females have their place, like PI stuff. I'm not a nosy guy. I can just bebop through the way. But I know if there's a female around me, she's looking at Facebook, she's digging into everything. Oh, I got friends, and females gossip, so they can get into those female circles and get a lot more information pulled out of them. Like, females do a very good job at PI work.
Yeah, and nobody suspects the little old lady. You just got to need help. Can
Yeah.
you help me? I need help. I don't understand how to do this.
Yep. And it's so, especially being you can wander in almost anywhere in the world, and they'd be like, oh, well, she's just here doing this, because you always see people who look like you all around.
Yeah.
And you just blend in so well. If I walk in, they're going to be like, oh, this guy obviously holds himself up the way he does. Now I got a neck tattoo, so I'm not doing any undercover stuff. Like, it's pretty crazy. And I stick out in some places. And it takes me and CJ working together. Like, he can blend in some places but he can't blend in the places I can blend in.
Yeah.
And we have to bounce back and forth to where you can blend in almost anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's pretty great. I do believe females make better PIs.
Yeah. And I think a lot of males are like retired law enforcement.
Yes.
And this is not bad at all. I mean, they do their thing and they make a lot of money and they are very good at what they do. But they're used to being, I have this uniform and I have this badge and you're going to tell me and you're going to do what I say and you're going to do this and do that. I'm like PI and undercover. I'm just asking questions and they're like, here, you are, they're forceful or whatever. I don't know.
And that's one downfall I see as cops come
Yes.
out to the PI side
Yeah.
is they take that authority to the next step.
Right.
They're like, I've been in authority and you're going to listen to me and you're going to do everything I say. And if things don't go the right way, then I'm going to interrogate you. And they stand out like a sore thumb whenever
Exactly.
they do PI stuff. And a lot of PI stuff, you don't want to stand out. You want to be able to blend in.
That's why it's called private.
Exactly. And I see that on the executive protection side. Like, a lot of CEOs and everything, they want you to be more laid back, more normal. And they don't want you to be all looking like a cop the entire time, standing out all the time. They don't want you to have that authority presence about you. They want it whenever the time calls for it. But other than that, you need to be more relaxed. You need to be able to fit in. You need to be able to be approachable is one of the main things, especially if you're doing surveillance. I can't tell you how many times I walked in doing surveillance, and then all of a sudden me and the person I'm surveilling are the only two people in the room. Now I'm having conversations with them. Now, you know what? I'm making a fictional story up in my head. We're sharing a bond at that point. Now, if I'm in that cop mindset, that more I'm in authority mindset, I'm just going to sit back and stare at them. And I've seen that a lot from them. Some of them transition pretty well to the PI side, but a lot of them they were cops for 20 plus years and they get stuck in that mindset and they do what they know.
Right.
And it's not a bad thing. There's a time and place for them. It's like females, whenever you guys go out, you guys gather information like crazy, surveillance like crazy. Like, I do the bare minimum whenever I do it. Yeah. Like, I will get it and I will go into detail about everything I'm getting, but you guys will go like, oh yeah, the cousin sister's dog's name's Rufus and he goes to this dog park at this time, and sometimes they go over there and I'm like, whoa, I just gave them the information they wanted from them, but you guys gather the entire world information, and it's amazing. Now, when it comes down to the protection side of being a PI, because one thing that I preach in phase 4 is if you want to carry around alcohol and things like that, you have to be a PI to do so. If you want to carry a gun in a courtroom, you have to be a PI to do so. And that opens up the protection side. And that's where I can step in and I can show people. But as surveillance, I can do surveillance, but you took the surveillance detection. That's more, this is how to follow people. This is how to not get caught, everything like that. I didn't incorporate report writing. I didn't incorporate going through their background, checking their Facebook. I didn't incorporate all that stuff, which probably needs to be incorporated. But for someone like me teaching it, I'm going to have to learn from someone like you.
Well, a couple things I want to touch on that you said. When you said sometimes you're two people standing there, like you're the person you're surveilling, and you're
Yes.
just standing there, and it's awkward. That's where the whole research in the background comes in.
Yes.
Because I could bring up like, oh, I like to go to the range and shoot.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I just came from the range. And they're like, oh, cool, so did I. Or,
Yep.
Whatever. I like to do that too. That makes you have a conversation with them when you know what they've done already.
Absolutely.
So that helps. But
Yeah, I was stuck. So I was supposed to follow this guy. I waited a little bit. He was at a high school football game. And I walk in, and he's just waiting for someone to lock eyes with him because his ex-wife, he knew someone was following him. And we locked eyes, and I just kind of walked up next to him and everything. And I was like, okay, well, I was like looking over there. I was like, I yelled at a kid on the sideline, not my kid. I yelled at a kid. He waved at me, so I waved at him. I walked over, got a popcorn, got a drink, walked back over there. I was like, hey, is your kid playing? Like, what number is he? And he was like, oh, well, my kid's so-and-so. And I was like, oh, mine's number 52 over here. I don't know this kid.
right.
So I knew the moment I walked in, if I made things awkward and just kind
Yeah.
of sit around and watched him, then he's going to know.
Yeah.
And then within that conversation, I just played on my phone a little bit, hit record, stuck it back in my pocket, and I got a whole bunch of information. It did not work well for the ex-wife because come to find out she was the one doing the bad stuff.
Oh, man.
And we became friends, like
Really?
friends within that conversation.
Oh.
And he let me know everything going on with his life and everything like that. And I was like, oh, man, really? Like, how'd you approach this? What happened then? And I got pretty much his entire testimony right there at the football game.
That's fabulous.
And it's just, I knew, like, if I walked in there and I was in a position of authority, like, I'm only here to survey this guy, and I walked off, then I wouldn't have got any of that information. He probably would have disappeared, went on the other side of the field. But just, I knew that I had to have communication with that, and I don't have that position of authority. So you know what? I'm just going to relax. I'm going to be me. I'm going to go talk to him, and we're just going to have a good time.
Don't make it weird.
Yeah, and we had a good time all the way up until he was like, okay, the game's over. I'm going to grab my kid. I started walking out on the field. I was like, oh, my wife's calling me. She's pulling the car around. Let me go check. And that way the
I gotta
kid,
go.
yeah,
Can't get my kid.
yeah, and then just disappeared.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm good after that.
That's good.
Yeah, and then I called the attorney and let him know, hey, this is all the information I got. I'll write up the report and send you the audio clip. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't touch on when you do surveillance is writing everything up. And, like, if you get video footage of it and in your reports, like, how crucial is that?
Very crucial. Like, there's rules about writing reports.
There are.
Yeah, and not everybody understands that.
So on the cleat side, because they do have a report writing section in the PI or a phase 3.
You do?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So cleat now has one, but it's very bare bones. It's very minimal. So if I'll actually, one of these days, I'll bring you in whenever we're on that section of the phase 3 course and let you, like, look at it.
Okay.
And so what cleat says is I cannot take anything out, but I can add to it.
Okay.
So we can add different types of ways to write reports and everything like that into it.
Yeah.
So
cool.
I would love to have your insight on that.
Yeah, because court, like when you write reports for court, they want
Yeah.
it a certain way.
They do.
And then, like, if you're just the cheating spouse and I'm writing it for you, that's different.
Yep.
You don't have to be so meticulous about it. But court ones, you have to be on point.
How many times have you been called into court?
4.
4 times? How was it?
It's kind of nerve-wracking because it's like they want to know, like, how are you qualified to be up here?
Yes.
Why should we listen to you, kind of thing. And you have to have your ducks in a row. You have to make sure what you saw, when you saw it, and how you saw it,
Yes.
and be able to answer it.
So I always, if I do have to go to court, I want to make sure I have video footage of everything that's happening because that will shut the court questioning down quickly. If I say at this time, this guy did this, and I followed him here and did this, I got recording of all of it, he can't say anything opposite of what I just said.
Right.
As long as I'm staying true to the video.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I tell people, get a body camera, do that, especially process serving. Whenever we hit on that again, you really need a body camera on that. But have you seen any, like, wild stuff in court?
No, most of it's been like, what are you even at? Why didn't you ask me this? Or why didn't you ask me that?
Yeah.
And like what I was testifying for a second-degree manslaughter case,
Okay.
and the defendant
Yes.
was my client. And so the only thing that the prosecuting attorney asked me was, so you're a PI? Yes. What's your license number? I gave it to her. Were you operating in a PI capacity
Yeah.
when you interviewed blah blah blah? Yes. Okay, thank you.
That's it.
That's it. I was like, wow.
Man, that's crazy. That was it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've been on the stand twice. Both times they asked me the same questions, and then when they asked me what makes me qualified, I'm like, oh, well, I have this entire background. And there's a thing I don't know if I told you about. It's called NCJTC. It's like a criminal justice training center, but it's online, and they give free webinars. So they do it on like forensic interviewing, domestic violence, things like that. So you can get hours that can go over to credit for your justice degree. So you can do it for free. And they also, CLEAT accepts it as continuing education.
Score. I want to do that.
So you can sit there, and they're like maybe 2 or 3 hours long, but they'll walk you through everything that you have to do, and you'll get credits for it. And at the end of it, you type in your name, and it gives you a certificate.
Score. I want to know that information.
Yep. So it's NCJTC. I'll make sure that you have it before you leave.
Okay.
And then you just go there, you create your profile, and then you can pay for other ones. So you can pay for like a $300 forensic interviewing class, and they will teach you how to do forensic interviewing. And whenever you get called up on the stand, you can be like, yeah, I got the certificate from the NCJTC saying that I did this many hours in forensic interviewing. And it can hold its merit in court.
Cool. Right now, I just have the list from CLEAT from our training,
Yeah.
that we have to do every year. I just have that list to hand them. But
So I think CLEAT requires 16 hours of continued education
every 3 years.
every 3 years. That's not enough.
It's not much.
That's not enough. I think, especially with you being passionate about it, you're constantly learning and growing.
Mhm.
I think it needs to be about 16 to 30 hours a year in order to maintain a certain proficiency in the PI field here in Oklahoma. One thing that got me really upset when I first got to Oklahoma and got my Phase 4 license, there was no requalification. The school that I went to took us back there, and we shot about 400 rounds, but the ones who still didn't qualify, they separated us, and they took them back, and then they qualified all of a sudden. And then whenever I started doing requals here in Oklahoma, I want to say last year, I took them back there, and I would ask them the same question. When was the last time you qualified with your firearm? About 3 or 4 years ago. You haven't shot since? No. That's a perishable skill. Like, if you get up there and you haven't shot your gun in that long, you're not going to be able to shoot. And the distance between, like, 15 yards, they were missing shots. And that's an issue. Like, I need you to hit your target, not the target that you're trying to save kind of issue. So if we could get the CLEAT to be involved and say, hey, you know what? I think you guys need about 32 hours a year of continued education. I don't care what it is. Go do forensics. Go do homicide investigations. Go sit down and talk to attorneys and figure out a little bit of law whenever you do so, because there's a lot about law that a lot of PIs don't know.
Right.
And we pretty much depend on the attorney. So whenever I work for an attorney, I always learn. I shadow them. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for now. This is what I need to try to prove, and this is the verbiage and the way I need to try to prove it. Got it. And that's what makes me a better PI. I personally don't like PI work. That's just
It breaks
because
my heart.
yeah, I'm good at it. It's just I'm more of an active guy. So if you can put me on a range, I feel at home. It's like meditating. Every time I start shooting a gun, it's meditating. And that's where my bread and butter goes.
Yeah.
And I'm so proficient at what I do, and because I enjoy it. It's the same way. You enjoy PI work, I enjoy shooting.
Yeah.
I enjoy the more tactical side of it.
Mm.
And we need tactical side, but we really need the actual PI side, the surveillance side, the side that you do, because without you guys, the tactical side doesn't exist. So, and the reason why I say that is, yeah, you guys are out doing surveillance and everything, but they're only going to call the guy who needs to do protection after something happened.
Yeah.
And then all I'm going to do is protect. And I can't protect and do the other side of the PI at the same time. So if I'm protecting the client, we're going to need someone over there doing surveillance on us. So I can watch from my perspective, but I need someone who can move around, who can collect the information, the details, and build the report, and also communicate to me, oh, yeah, so-and-so showed up. He's over here. Okay, now I need to move my client over here. Like that side is so critical. It's like being an infantryman in the Army. Yeah, you're the front line. You're the one who fights. But you can't fight without bullets. You can't fight without food. You can't fight without supply. You can't fight without the people who are there to help you fight. And you put an infantry guy out in the field, yeah, we're going to do everything for about 14, 15 days. And then once we're out of ammo, we're stuck. So as long as we keep having that information, that intel and everything coming in, then we can keep moving. As long as we have the supply coming in, we can keep moving. So the PI field will only keep moving as long as you guys are out there doing surveillance, as long as you guys are out there doing homicide investigations, DUI investigations, anything like that. It's going to keep moving. And I think one thing that really killed my high for PI work is I started getting into domestic violence.
All the time.
Domestic violence. Oklahoma's number one in domestic violence.
It is. It's a very, very bad problem.
I've seen the way the police react to domestic violence. I've seen the way the courts react to domestic violence. I've seen so much corruption in the system with domestic violence, and it just kind of killed it for me. I didn't want to do it anymore. It would make me aggressive to the point to where I'll do the protection just in case I get a chance to hurt this guy.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the right thing,
Yeah.
And it killed me from it. Have you done any like domestic violence?
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Yeah. All the time. There's a lot. The statistics are it takes like 11 times for a woman or a man or whoever's the victim to actually leave.
Yep.
That's crazy to me.
It's crazy. And the moment that they leave, it will escalate. And it will go further and further and further.
That's when you come in.
Yep. I've been called out on scenes to where ladies' brake lines were cut because the ex didn't want them leaving. So they cut the brake lines and they couldn't stop at a stop sign. So they end up running into a pole. And then I had to go out there and prove that the brake lines were cut. So then we have to get it towed to a mechanic. I have to get the mechanic statement. I have to take pictures of everything that happened. And we knew that it happened because the moment we got to the mechanic shop, they didn't know where the mechanic shop was. The ex-husband started calling the mechanic shop and asking why the wife was there, everything like that. And I was like, give me the phone.
So he had a GPS on our car.
100%. So we lifted up the car. OSBI got involved, and we started scanning it. I found the GPS tracker, and I was like, here it is. That's against the law.
Against the law. Nobody understands that.
No one does. They think, oh, I'm going to track someone. Just toss an AirPod or air tracker in there. Nope, can't do that. And if you do that, that's really a bad way because my phone now will pick up an AirPod or what is it? I think it's an AirPod tracker or something. Yeah. My phone will pick it up now, and I'm like, I'm being tracked by what? And then I start searching for it.
Yeah.
I just did one to where the husband and the wife split up, and the wife kept calling him, being like, why are you over here? We know where you're at all times, and like doing that kind of stuff.
It's like telling on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't tell on yourself.
And he was like, well, there's a tracker in my van. And I was like, let's check it out. But I'm pretty sure if they know where you're at all times and what building you're in, it's on you. And eventually I opened up his van, went through everything. And I was like, if it's on your van and they've had it for this long, it needs to be wired in because batteries die and trackers die. So they had to wired it in somewhere. And I started looking for it, and I was like, let me see your keys. And he tossed me his keys, and there was an A-TAC on it. And I was like, found it. And I walked over there and gave it to him. He was like, what? And I put my phone on it, and my phone dinged. And I was like, you're being tracked. I was like, yeah, we're being tracked. This is sending a signal to someone. And he was like, oh. He took it off, and the wife did not like that.
No, she
was,
didn't.
yeah, so, and I had to explain to him, like, that's against the law. She's not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to put tracking devices on people or their cars.
Right. It's a hard line.
Yeah, and that's where PIs come in. You have to surveil them. You have to follow them. And you have to be a PI to do so.
Yeah.
One thing I touch on whenever I do the PI class is if you're following someone and they start driving erratically and speeding up and everything, you cannot follow them at that point because if they get in a wreck and you're still following them, the cops will put pursuing charges on you. And that's against the law. As a PI, you cannot pursue someone. And then you were the one who caused the wreck because you were following them, making them drive erratically. I've seen that happen. It's a bit insane. You're looking at me funny.
Like I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't go to your class, evidently.
You cannot pursue.
Like when does that go into When can you notice that, or what's the signs? Or
So if you feel like you've lost your cover and they start speeding up over, let's say the speed limit's 70 and they start doing about 75, 80, weaving in and out of traffic, trying like you feel like they're trying to lose you, just let them go. Because at that point, if you're still following them and they do know that you're following them, like, well, I only wrecked because of them, that's pursuing. You just pursued them.
Huh.
That's insane.
I didn't know that for
Yeah.
real. Like,
There-
I don't do that because, like, I've followed people going 100 miles an hour down the highway, and I'm like, I'm not driving 100 miles an hour down the highway. But that was just because he was driving crazy. 'Cause
I
he was a
only
crazy
know
driver.
that because I told an attorney that I followed him even though he was doing that. And they were like, ooh, you got to be careful. That's pursuing. And I was like,
What?
what can I get charged for? And they told me, they were like, if he got in a wreck or caused any damages, you'd be liable for it.
Wow.
It's kind of like if you set your gun down and you walk away and someone else picks it
Mm.
up and shoots someone, you're liable for
And you
that.
can't do that.
Yeah. So now you're reliable because they're reacting off of your actions. I didn't know that until the attorney told me. Which
That's good information to spread around.
we really need to build like a private investigation course. That way we can
100%.
take all of our knowledge and like combine it and teach people. I don't have the background to do so. I can throw in on it because I've done PI work. I'm pretty decent at PI work. I think I just told you I'm a different side of the PI work than
Yeah.
you are. But if you can think about stuff that you really would like to learn, then we can bring people in. I would like an attorney to come in and talk about it.
100%. I don't understand. Here's what I need to know about an attorney thing. I need to know, like, when child custody mainly, because I do child custody and mainly things like that.
Yes.
So that's what my passion is, because
Okay.
I want to help the kids. I don't, no kid needs to be used as a pawn with their mom and dad fighting.
Absolutely.
I hate that. Anyway, so that's where my passion's at. But I would like to know, like, what, and I ask this to every client, talk to your attorney and see exactly what they need
Yes.
to tell me exactly what I need to get, and I'll do my best to get it. But they never know, or they don't have a clue. Like, I need to know the rules. Like, I wish there was rules. Like, I know that there's like temporary orders and they can't do this and they can't do that. But then, like, when you get them doing this or that, then it's like, oh, well, that really doesn't matter. Well, it either matters or it doesn't matter.
Yes.
So I would like to know what that is.
It's about the attorney. What the attorney, like, you bring them as much information as possible, and what the attorney uses, then they use. And that's the reason why so many attorneys are different. You have family attorneys, you have
Right.
civil attorneys, you have everything like that. So if they get the correct attorney, like a family law attorney,
Yeah.
then they're going to be able to point you in the right direction. There's one attorney, I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name or anything, but I'll hook you up with them afterwards. She does nothing but those. So she knows the ins and outs of it. And she sent me to go pick up a 14-year-old one time for a emergency pickup on him. And the one thing that she told me is he's 14. He's not living in the best conditions or anything, but a 14-year-old can choose whether they want to stay or go.
Mm-hmm.
So I got there, and that kid was taller than I was, bigger than I was.
Wow.
He was like 6'4", maybe 300 pounds. I was like, man, I can't force you into my car. But I have this document saying, if you want to leave, I'm your chance to leave right now, and they can't do anything about it. No pressure on you, but if you want to leave, you can come with us. Now, I've also did kid pickups to when they're 3-4 years old, or maybe even babies, to where I have to show up with the sheriff, and we have to take the kid.
I've done that before too.
That's a very dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Especially if it's against a mother and the mother has a new boyfriend, that's a very, very big conflict ready to happen. Or if you go to the father's house to pick up his kids, it's a very delicate situation because a lot of people lose their lives over that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, even in the police force, the reason why cops don't want to deal with a bunch of domestic violence is because that's where they get shot. The moment they step into a civil interaction between a wife and a husband, they're looked at as the bad guy.
Yeah.
Either on the wife's side or on the husband's side.
Yeah.
And
But you have to take sides.
you have to separate them. You have to, like, evaluate what's going on. One of them I saw, I'm not going to say the police force, but I'll tell you, he started fighting her in the house, and she got away and started running out the door. He reached up and grabbed her by the arm, and she dropped her phone, turned around and punched him to get away, made it to the neighbor's house. when the cops showed up, he was like obviously not beaten up very much. She had bruises, blood coming out of her, a concussion, everything like that. But they said because she turned around and hit him back to get away, it was mutual combat. They did nothing about it.
See, that's the part of the Oklahoma domestic violence thing that something needs to happen about that.
Something does. Luckily, we showed up and we were there before. Like, he was sitting on the ground, and I had another investigator with me who was a DUI investigator. We all had our body cams on. We got her. The cops didn't do anything. They didn't call the ambulance or anything like that. So we took her to the hospital because she had a concussion. So we took her to a hospital. If you do take them to the hospital, they have separate waiting rooms for domestic violence to where they can go in there. They can take pictures of like the scratch marks, the bruises, the blood, if there's any blood or anything like that. And then they'll go back and they know how to treat them. I took her to Integris, and they separated us, and they were like, okay, these are all the tests that we're going to run. Make sure that she's calm, make sure she's stable, everything like that. If anything happens, come get us. And we were in a completely separate waiting room.
Oh, wow, that's cool. I didn't know they did that.
So they do that here in Oklahoma. Human trafficking and domestic violence, because they go hand in hand. Whenever I started working domestic violence, I slowly got pulled into the human trafficking side, and I've went all around this country to go pick women up who got snatched up. And that's more of my expertise, because if I'm going to go do that, then I'm going to be completely tacked out, and I'm going to go do what it needs to be done. I know it's not as legal as what we want to hear, but it needs to be stopped.
It's necessary. It's necessary. See,
100%.
That part scares the crap out of me.
And it's getting bigger here in Oklahoma. A lot of the blue states are starting to, the ICE raids and everything that are happening in the blue states are starting to push them into the red states.
Yeah.
I don't think they understand a red state's a red state, so a lot of us carry guns. So if we see that going down, we're going to do something about it. I hope that people do something about it. But on the domestic violence side and the human trafficking, if you're a female or a male and you need to get away from that stuff or you need to hide, On-Q has safe rooms also. So you can go to any On-Q and go in there and let them know what's going on, and they can put you in a safe room, and they'll call the authorities and have them come get you and make sure that you're safe.
There's a sign, right, on the window or something. I've seen that before. I didn't know they had a separate room.
Yep.
I do. We had lots of missing persons in Oklahoma. Lots and lots because of I-40 and I-35.
Yep.
That's the crossroads of America.
It is.
And
absolutely.
you can get on one and get away quick.
And that's why there's so many drugs in Oklahoma. That's why meth's such a big deal, I-40 and I-35. And we're right off of I-40 and I-35.
Right.
And I want to say the biggest sex trafficking bust happened here off of Meridian.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. I was in a class the other day, and they said Meridian in Reno was the biggest sex trafficking place. That's where it all happens.
Yeah. I had my hand in one of the busts that happened here. And, OSBI came in, and I was just doing surveillance on it because I got kind of pulled into it as a favor for someone. And I was doing surveillance. I was like, man, this is sketchy. I didn't know this stuff was going on. But we watched them. We watched them take vans, like 3 or 4 vans, loads of women, and move them from hotel to hotel around here. Before the movement, they would send a guy on a bicycle. And then if the coast wasn't clear, he would like go back where he was at. If the coast was clear, he'd start doing figure eights in the front of the parking lot, and then the watchers would be like, okay, start loading up the women. As long as he's doing figure eights in the parking lot, they're good. And then they'll start driving down Meridian and move them from hotel to hotel. That way that you can't pinpoint which hotel that they're in. Like it's a thing.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah. Human trafficking, they're a lot more coordinated than you could believe.
The guy that was at OIPA last month talked about that. He's a specialist in finding missing persons.
Yeah.
And he talked about that. He touched on it for a minute. Something needs to be done about this too, because I didn't agree with this. I don't know what needs to be fixed about it, but he was saying that, say somebody called him and said, hey, my daughter's missing. We think she's at blah, blah house.
Yes.
But she went missing with 3 or 4 of other people, 3 or 4 other, little girls or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he goes to get her. He can only get that little girl. He can't get the other 3.
Nope.
I think that's awful.
He can only pick up who he's looking for.
Right.
In order to get the other ones, he has to prove that they're in danger where they're at. So if he went in and got hurt and she was like, no, they're doing this to them and everything like that, then he could pick them up. But he can't do it alone. He needs to call the backup sheriff's department, police department, everything like that. Like, he has to do it. Now, if she said that and, like, gave them all the information that they need to go in and do it, then they can go in and do it. But if she's, well, we all know about forensic interviewing. If she's threatened or in fear of her life, she's not going to talk.
Right.
She's not going to talk a lot. It, also, depending on what age they are. So if they pick up a teenager and they're like, I'll kill your family, I'll kill everyone around you.
Which is the first thing they say.
Yep. We're going to get everything back. They're not going to talk. Not until they feel like they're actually in a safe space. And that's where the forensic interviewing comes in. There's certain tells that you can tell, eye movement, the way that they fidget around. And then there's also a way that you can talk to them and interview them in order to pull out the information.
Yeah, but at that point, like, it's a life or death situation right now. You've got to get out.
Yeah.
And so he's got to get her out. And then he had no idea what happened to the other 3 girls. That's awful.
The moment he shows up and takes her out, by the time he goes back, they're not going to be there.
Right.
Yep. And
I think that's so sad.
That's very, very sad. And it's so prominent here in Oklahoma. What's up? Calling? Oh, call it. Okay.
Guess we're done.
Yeah.
That went real fast.
We're definitely going to have to touch back because I want to know more about you, and we didn't get to touch on the process serving side because PI is just one set of it. And process serving and PI go hand in hand.
Yes.
And one thing that I want to touch on when we get back is you get your process server's license.
Mm-hmm.
No one tells you what to do, where to go, anything like that. You just show up to court on your court date, get it stamped, and you're like, cool, I paid money for a license.
Good luck.
Yeah, no one knows anything about it.
Nothing.
And the more you know about it, I've had process servers come and try to serve my client. And I run them around in circles because I know the ins and outs of it because I did it for so long. And I know the process server community in Oklahoma is pretty small. So people know about each other. And I just run them in circles. I didn't want to. I mean, I felt kind of bad for doing it, but, I had to do it. But next time that you come in, we're going to talk more about that. And you're going to start your own little podcast, right?
Yes.
Oh, I love hearing that. I love it. I want to be part of your podcast. That way you can bring it in.
We're going to do it here in your room.
Yeah.
It's going to be called, what is it?
Yeah, Daniel, what is it? What's the podcast?
PI Talk with TJ and Val.
TJ and Val. And who's TJ?
Tanya.
What's her background?
She's a PI. She's been a PI like double the time I have.
Oh, wow.
And she's a great process server.
Awesome. I definitely want to talk to you guys. I know you guys are going to be in a lot more when you're doing your podcast and everything like that. That's going to be fun to watch. Especially, man, women in the PI field, you guys get into a lot of stuff and you guys have a lot of knowledge. Like I said, guys get into it and we're like, we want to do cool guy stuff. But you guys are like, no, all the cool stuff is over here. Like, if I need to find someone, I'm coming to a female PI 100% because you guys are going to find everything about them. You guys are going to be like, yeah, they're at this location. By the way, they took out a bank loan for this amount to buy this. And that pissed off so-and-so who is now mad at them. So if you want more information, you just go to them and they're going to let you like that. That's the
I don't know if it happens like that or not.
I've seen it. You guys get into those close-knit circles and you guys get a lot of information. So I'm excited. I'm excited to listen to it. I'm going to be your first subscriber.
Awesome.
100%. You already got one. So we're good. Well, it was nice talking to you.
It's nice talking to you.
Yeah, man. So we're going to go ahead and end this. You guys have a good time, and we're going to get out later.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.